people who so much and often don't give themselves time to think clearly. And so this hour is going to be leadership reset. So we won't try to catch up with AI because there's so much to catch up on. We'll try to um, catch up with ourselves. So we are going to talk about AI in a way that's not noisy, not overwhelming, and doesn't ask you to become someone that you are not. Yan. So let's lean back. No need to perform. No need to impress anyone here. But the questions are welcome. Naka-open sa akin yung chat. So there's no stupid questions here. Let's just be open. It's an intimate space. So feel free to ask anything. Okay, so let's have a quiet reframe. A leadership pause for recalibrating your relationship with AI. So just show of hands, or maybe just type me in the chat if you're already currently using AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or any LLM tools. And just type me in the chat if you are able. And so I'd like to get the feel of the room kung sino yung mga AI users here. And so of course, Direct Vicky. And the rest, not yet. Not yet. That's why I'm here.
The chat is disabled, I think.
Oh, Direct Vicky, the chat is disabled pala. Baka we can do
Let me
something.
figure it out. I'll try to enable it. Hold on.
All right. Okay, sige, habol na lang din. But feel free to speak na lang if you have anything to say or have any questions to ask. And raise your hand na lang pala para hindi tayo chaotic. Okay. So, today's intention. I've spoke to a lot of leaders, especially the older ones. There's this pressure on catching up sa AI. So, the intention today is to silence the
Yes.
And so you don't have to be an expert, just how you see AI or how you see your own pace. So um, there you go. The noise is around AI, so everybody knows this already. The internet makes it sound really urgent, aggressive, and constantly evolving. Checking, I'm breaking down as per Coach Noel.
You're
Yan.
okay now.
Okay now. Yan. So the noise around AI. So I'm sure na-experience nyo din to. The internet makes AI sound really urgent and aggressive. And it gives us the feeling na I have to catch up, I have to upskill now, I have to learn AI, or else I'll be falling behind. Das leader pa ako. If I'm a leader, I need to learn this, I need to catch up. My my teammates, my clients might already be using this. So it's yung mga messaging that we see, the kind of messaging isn't informative, it's more of panic inducing. It's not designed to teach, but it's designed to trigger. There are also this the use of fear to sell courses. But these tactics don't build leaders. And so we're not going to add to that noise. Kasi a lot of that noise around AI sounds like panic marketing as well. So it creates this quiet dread that you're already behind and that you already missed the moment. So that's not a healthy or a helpful place to make decisions from. It's hard to be strategic when you're in survival mode. So why do leaders hesitate? A lot of leaders also hesitate in learning about AI. There's this fear. So what's under the fear? So first is too fast, too much, too soon. The accelerating pace of AI development creates pressure to implement without adequate strategic consideration. Many leaders feel pushed into adoption timelines that don't align with organizational readiness. So a lot of companies struggle to also upskill their employees in the use of AI. They are okay, for a while. Am I breaking? Okay. Is the audio clear now? Okay. So where was I? Too fast, too much, too soon. Yan. So a lot of companies are already upskilling their employees in using AI to be more efficient, be more productive. But the real pain is in adopting the infrastructure and AI adoption policies and the actual adoption of the organization in the business model level. So many leaders feel pushed into adoption timelines that do not align with their organizational readiness. Meron nga akong client who also wants to adopt AI in their processes, but they don't even have documentations of their current processes. So, mahirap din yan. So, napakaraming mga kailangan talagang i-consider. So, there's also this fear of looking like you don't know anything. The complexity of AI creates vulnerability, especially for experienced leaders accustomed to mastery. Admitting knowledge gaps feels risky, especially in competitive environments. So because of that, there's more pressure to upskill really, really quick. There's also this overwhelm from hype and jargon. There are a lot of technical terminologies and claims that create a fog of confusion that makes separating valuable applications from some yung mga over-promising tools that don't really provide results. So, napakaraming tools. You also don't know what tools to choose and how you are to implement it in your daily operations. So when I talk to leaders, the surface fear is always about tech. But what sits underneath is something else. There's this question about what if I cannot keep up? Or what if my team expects me to know more than I do? Or what if I try and still feel lost? Or what if I lose my edge? So none of this is silly. It's very real. We've built our confidence over time, but new tools can feel like they threaten that. And lagi pa nilang sinasabi, AI or die, adopt or die. So we really have this pressure and fear, lalong-lalo na sa leaders. There's also this dialogue of I'll be replaced. I don't even know where to begin. This is moving too fast. This isn't made for people like me. Yan. I'm not sure if the people in this room can relate to it, but feel free to also share your sentiments about AI in the chat if you'd like to share anything. Yan. So, yeah. What do we really need? We need clarity, curiosity, and the right questions. So sabi nila, the future belongs to those who are fast, who are quick to adapt. But it doesn't belong to them. It belongs to those who have clarity. Yan. So, we're not here to become prompt engineers. We don't need to learn every feature or trend. We just need to channel our intrinsic qualities as leaders. The way we lead with questions, with reflections, and with choices. Those are the same things that make AI useful if we choose to see it that way. But this evening, I will be giving some prompts and some reflections. We'll use that lens today And hopefully, the template prompts and template reflections would be a jump-off point for you to have AI as your thinking partner, your strategic partner, your mirror, or someone that helps you make better decisions as leaders, or even AI as someone that makes you be a more strategic leader. And so, where does this fit? Where does AI fit in, and where does it fit in how you think and how you decide? Yeah. So, quiet leaders make better decisions. Stillness sharpens judgment. Research consistently shows that rushed decisions lead to poorer outcomes. But ito yung nagiging fear with the use of with the use of AI. They use it for speed. They use it to make work easier. They make it they use it to make things faster. They use it to produce more. And so the most effective leaders create space for contemplation before churning content, before making a decision. So by resisting the pressure for immediate responses, you access deeper wisdom and more nuanced understanding. So what are we going to explore? And we'll explore um, three-part framing. So first, um, we will desensitize the fear. We will desensitize it. What's driving the fear? What roles AI can play for your kind of leadership. We will reframe it. And then we will integrate how AI can be incorporated in ways that can feel more calm and purposeful. And so we'll move through this in three parts. And so AI isn't replacing you, it's repositioning how you think. So isa pa to sa mga fears yung AI replacing jobs, AI replacing people. But it would be better to have that mindset of just having it to reposition how we think. And so how does it reposition how we think? So first, from control to conversation. So we've been taught to treat AI like a tool that needs mastering, that language, control, optimize, prompt perfectly. It pushes us into performance. But what if we shift the framing that AI doesn't really need our perfection? It doesn't really need perfectly um, a perfectly produced or optimized prompt. Yan kasi merong tinatawag na prompt engineering, tas kailangan siyang um, you're following a formula. But really, it just needs our curiosity. It responds best when we're reflective and not reacting. It's um, it's not just about knowing the right input. It's also about what kind of friction you are trying to ease. AI doesn't have context. Yung difference niya in terms of giving recommendations sa judgment. And so wala siyang context. It doesn't feel pressure. It doesn't know your team's dynamics or how your last meeting went unless talagang bibigyan mo siya ng full na na narrative na kailangan niya to help you process things. But what it does is it gives you speed and pattern awareness. So you can think of AI like a very, very, very intelligent assistant, but this assistant has no experience. So it's up to you to give it that experience based on your years of practice. It's up to you to give it context kasi wala siya nun. Wala siya ng mga values na yun. But it is very intelligent. Yeah. It can surface blind spots. It can also draft hard messages. It can also give you options when your brain is foggy. That's useful, but only if you guide it with the right questions. So here's where I've also seen leaders benefit the most. So first, they use AI for strategic clarity. Like for example, um, it's able to summarize tensions or it's able to reframe priorities. It can also give you emotional pulse, like in drafting messages with warmth or accountability. It can also help with decision reflection. You can map the trade-offs. You can make it produce many different scenarios, pros and cons, helping you decide which is yun, depended on sa mga parameters that you will give it. It can also rebuild headspace, which is very important to us leaders dahil napakarami nating iniisip, ang dami nating inaasikaso. A lot is in our hands. So having this headspace is really very important for us. So AI tools, well, even just ChatGPT, can help us empty the clutter in our mind and rebuild the headspace that we've been wanting to have. And so it's also not about using it every day, making it part of your daily habits, but more of you should know when it matters most. Yan, kailan nagmamatter, kailan dapat mo siyang, kailan nagmamatter na gamitin mo yung tool na yon. Yan, so let it help you return to signal and not scatter. Kasi if you want to rebuild your headspace, sometimes the tendency is if you use AI and you dump a lot of mga inputs at napakarami pa mga ideas, mga research, etc. The tendency is if you don't have clarity on what your goals are, mas lalo ka pang nagkakaroon ng fog. Yan. So a good prompt is not really fancy. It's just honest. So it's more than just a skill. Prompting is like a reflection practice. So ako, when I talk to AI, um, I ask it to help me process things. Like for example, here's what I'm torn in between, or here's where I feel blocked, or here's what I would say if I wasn't overthinking. Give me other scenarios for that. So prompting is an act of reflection spoken out loud. So para kang may kausap na thinking partner. It doesn't have to have a formula. Well, maganda kung meron, but first you have to learn to talk to it the way you talk to someone that can give you advice. Kasi pwede mo rin siyang bigyan ng many different roles, which I will also show to you later. Yan. So AI as a thinking partner, not a shortcut, meaning not a shortcut for making tasks easier. And shortcuts are for tasks that you have already mastered. Yan. But what about the ones that keep looping in your head? Yan. That's where AI becomes more than a tool. It becomes a mirror. You speak your thoughts, it responds. You tweak, it reflects until you arrive at something clearer than what you started. So that's not really outsourcing your thinking. That's just supporting your thinking. Yan. Pero iba yung usapan na pagka when it comes to AI for the young ones, because the young ones still does not have a developed critical thinking skill. So pag naging very reliant sila on AI and yun, in-outsource na nila yung thinking nila sa AI, yun, mahirapan yung ma-develop ang kanilang critical thinking brains unless meron silang way to do it na mas ma-develop yung critical thinking abilities nila. So it should have a framework and should be supervised. So old leadership models praised autonomy, but today what we need more of is intelligent interdependence. So your team, your tools, your systems, your rituals, each play a role. And AI is just one of those roles. Yeah, it does not replace your judgment. Think of AI as like a consultant or part of your board or someone holding a particular position. Depends on what role you're assigning to it. And so it still does not replace your judgment because bottom line, ikaw pa rin yung boss, you're the one who makes the final decision. And it gives you a buffer, it gives you a breath, like a warm-up sketch before the final stroke. So what role do you want AI to play in your week, for example? So you don't have to answer out loud, but take 30 seconds to ask yourself, where am I overwhelmed? Yeah, where am I overwhelmed? Number two, what do I keep avoiding or where do I keep avoiding something? Number three, what's the one task that I always overthink? So that can be your entry point. Yeah, not because it's urgent, but because it's something that drains you. Let AI carry that weight for a while and you don't have to do it all from scratch. And so later, um, I will be providing you some leadership prompts. But for now, I would like to share to you muna yung hidden profit blockers. This is a portion of what I shared in our talk at the Philippine AI Business Association and with Director Vicky as well. This is to help leaders build prompts that deliver profit. Profit is not just monetary. Profit could be any kind of return. Return could be in a way of yung effort, energy, time, etc. So at first, before you use AI, you need to check where energy, time, and money are quietly leaking in your system or in your ways of doing things. So you have to start with introspection, and this introspection is what we call the spec lens. So later, I'll be teaching you the spec prompting framework. But first, let me go through the hidden profit blockers. So first, there's the echo work. Next is the ceiling work. And next is the fog work. So ano ba yung echo work? So these are the repetitive tasks that echo day after day. Like for example, answering the same inquiries, rewriting the same captions, reformatting reports, or summarizing meetings manually. If you feel like you're always doing the same thing, this is your echo zone. So these are prime candidates for automation or something that AI can help you with. So some more samples of echo work, the repetitive type. Yan. So ano ba yung mga repetitive tasks that we can automate? So for example, responding to FAQs via email or chat, transferring notes to spreadsheets, sending welcome messages to every client, rewriting Instagram captions weekly, manually compiling sales reports, creating payment follow-up messages. So these are things or tasks that can be automated through AI. Another profit blocker is the ceiling work. So the ceiling work are the tasks that you postpone or avoid because you think, I'm not really good at that. I'm not really trained for that. So this could be analyzing a spreadsheet, writing a pricing strategy, or drafting a legal sounding policy. So parang you've hit your skills ceiling. Nandito lang yung alam ko. But with AI, you don't have to wait for an expert because you get a boost because you can ask it. You can ask it you can ask it on about ways to do things. Yan. For example, drafting a proposal for a grant or investor, hindi lang pala ways to do things. You actually ask it to help you um, and produce the work that you think you need to hire an expert for. Yan. Pero syempre, there's a limit. There's a limit to what AI can do, but it can give you parang a first level draft. Yan. So depends on yung quality ng output that you expect to deliver. Yan. So for example, writing website copy or brand messages, building financial projections or pricing models, creating a marketing strategy for a new offer, creating a sales funnel or lead magnet, structuring a team SOP or onboarding manual. So these are the ceiling work that you can outsource to AI. Next is fog work. So ano ba yung fog work? These are the vague, fuzzy tasks where you know something needs to be done, but you don't know where to begin. So maybe it's planning a campaign or crafting a pitch or improving a customer journey. AI can give structure to your fog and spark momentum. So what are examples of fog work? Figuring out what content themes to focus on, improving poor client retention without clear data, planning a digital campaign for a new product, identifying what's wrong in your customer journey, turning founder vision into a team plan, responding to a conflict or negative feedback. Yeah, I use this a lot of times. Yeah. So at the onset, it's very helpful to first know which blocker you experience the most. Yan. So, echo, ceiling, or fog. Okay, so there is also the 5 prompt to profit pathways. So, as we move forward, every prompt you build will tie into one of these profit pathways. And so, for entrepreneurs, having good prompts would enable you to sell smarter, work faster, decide sharper, connect deeper, and also look better. Because we all know generative AI can produce very good visual content. Yeah. So now we go to the spec prompting framework. If you still do not have a framework that you are using when you are typing your prompts in ChatGPT or Gemini or any LLM that you're using, this could be a guide for you. So this is developed by Introspect, but there are a lot of other prompting frameworks. So feel free to just choose whatever is useful for you, yeah, or effective for you. So S stands for standpoint. So you have to give the tool a role, or who should AI step into the shoes of. Setting a clear standpoint helps AI adopt the right voice, tone, and thinking mode. Kasi pwede kanilang kausapin with many different tones. For example, you can ask it to be really strict and give you mga scathing feedback. Parang ganun. You can do that. Or you can ask it to talk to you like a 5-year-old. Or you can ask it to speak to you um, um, in a strategic way. And you can give it any role that you want. So meron siyang different standpoint and you have to assign that. Next is problem. What do you need help with? So you're going to ChatGPT, you're going to AI tools because you have a problem that you want it to solve. And so be specific because AI cannot read vague intentions. Next, expectations. What format do you want? An A3 paragraph letter, a bullet list, a table? Can be specific and ask it to give you any format as long as enabled na. But for now, I think pwede nang mag-ask na ilagay sa CSV file or sa Word file or Google Sheet or a code, pwede rin. Yan. So, even agent mode is now available in ChatGPT. So constraints, add clarity, tone, word count, audience, etc. Prompts need creative boundaries. So you can ask it to give you uh, 100 character response, or you can ask it to expound or condense 100-page white paper into one-pager summary. Pwede rin ganun. So, key insight, this is the context that you only know. These are the details, the past actions, brand personality, etc. Yan. So, I have some examples here of the different prompts, but in the interest of time, because I want to go straight na dun sa exercise natin, I will just be sending this deck and giving you a copy, or I think since this is recorded, you can just also play it back. Yeah, so these are some samples for standpoint, for problem, for expectations, for constraints, and key insights. Yeah, so again, if you want to capture, this is the spec prompting framework. Actually, that's just one type of prompting, but you really have to start with your own reflection and having a real conversation with AI. Yeah, this is just another it's just a framework to guide you. So in using AI, you don't need to master every tool. You just need to learn to ask better questions, ones that lead to profitable answers. Again, yung profitable, it's not just monetary. Okay? So AI, you leaders use AI as their mental whiteboard. Most of my leader friends, um, actually they don't need another. They use AI to create dashboards and synthesize reports, but what they really need is the space to see their own thinking more clearly. When you prompt AI well, it becomes this non-judgmental thinking partner, and it holds your questions and lets you react to them without the pressure of perfection. So like a whiteboard, it's not about the answers, it's about surfacing what you already know but haven't fully named. I've had a lot of mga eureka moments, just um, um, brain dumping and explaining in many different terms what I'm thinking, tapos AI solidifies what I already know, and having names and frameworks and theories for it. AI also acts as strategy mirror for leaders. Um, it um, it also helps you ask better questions. It can also stress test your assumptions, and you can even have it play a devil's advocate. So if you have an idea, have it play your devil's advocate and have a chat with it. So sasabihin niya lahat ng mali doon sa proposal mo, doon sa idea mo. And then later on, ask it to revise. Yeah. So a lot of times we need friction. We need friction, and um, you can ask AI, what might I be missing? Or if this idea failed, what would the reasons be? So it can become your sounding board that reflects these parts of you that or several parts or some parts that you may be overlooking. It's not always accurate, pero that's not the point. It just nudges you to think more systematically. And it sharpens your clarity, not by giving you certainty, but by expanding the way that you see options. And so personally, that's how AI has been really helpful for me. So, syempre, AI as a delegation portal. What I discussed a while ago, especially the echo work. Yan. So, AI can be a delegation portal for echo work. Yan, yung mga drafting emails, reports, captions, refining your tone, turning instructions into templates. You can even create a manual for for your key activities and processes. You just record your voice, have it transcribe it, and then have it create a systematic workflow for you. So this is the most obvious one, AI as a delegation portal, but also the one most underused, because a lot of people just use ChatGPT for just chatting. They use it the way they use Google. And so um um you can also, like, for example, just take down notes or sketch your thoughts and let AI do the heavy lifting. Then after that, you edit for nuance. It's also helpful for keeping your tone clear. Also, when you're tired or frustrated or unsure how direct to be. So it's working for me and my clients, because when you talk to clients and when you talk to different people, they expect different approaches. Parang meron silang different language games. So AI can really be a quick help for that. Yan. So the idea is not to outsource your voice. It's just to lighten the weight so your energy goes to decisions that only you can make. Yan. So I also ask AI mga questions like this. For example, I'm leading a team that feels overwhelmed by digital changes. What questions should I reflect on to lead better in this moment? Yeah. So I guess this is the time where I will be sharing some prompts. If you are in ChatGPT, and I would like you to open ChatGPT, or any LLM tool, can be Gemini as well. So kasabayan ko din kayo, i-open ko din dito sa sa aking browser. Oops. Tanggalin ko na tong isa kong. Yan. So this is my ChatGPT browser. So I am going to give you a prompt which I will paste here in the chat. So accessible naman sa chat, no, for everyone. Yeah. So first is, so here are some samples. The first one, help me identify what part of my leadership style might be resisting change. Ask me reflective questions to guide the process. And so, since I am using my Plus ChatGPT, and I've also customized it dito sa saan ba yung kino-customize? Nalimutan ko na. Yan, dun sa settings, it's advisable for you to personalize your ChatGPT. Even if it's not paid, pwede nyo siyang i-personalize, and you can have custom instructions on how do you want it to call you, and what traits should your ChatGPT have. So, ito yung nilagay ko. I would like you to be strategic and a critical thinker, like a brainstorming partner who is whole brain, strategic and creative as well. Free to exploring new ideas, always excited and positive, but never fails to tell me about the different sides of a situation. So, medyo mahaba pa to, but I give it a systems thinking approach. Yan, para pag sinagot niya ako, mas detalyado. But we can also test this sa free version ng ChatGPT. Yan. So I will be asking the same question, and then let's see kung paano siya sasagot. Yan. So, ang sagot niya dito, absolutely great leadership begins with self-awareness, and asking the right questions can help uncover unconscious resistance to change. Here are reflective questions organized by key areas that often influence resistance in leadership. So, it asks me different questions. And syempre, I will respond. Lalagyan ko lang ng number, and based on that, it can give me more in-depth na answers. And it helps open my mind. It also gives me different perspectives. It helps me reflect. Yan. So, yan. Marami siyang mga questions. But let's see kung ano yung tanong dito nung isa na naka-plus at naka-customize sa akin. So, yung different dito, it already said, may AMRE na, absolutely AMRE, let's approach this with a systems thinking lens, not just looking at you as an individual leader, but also considering the mental models, incentives, relationships, and structures around you that might subtly resist change. So, di ba, it already has these, yan, kasi I already placed these, especially in mga structures and mental models, I placed these in my references. So, it has reframed the questions at a more, mas deeper level. May iba-ibang categories na siya na mas malalim din. Like for example, cognitive lens, beliefs, and mental models. Habit lens, patterns and comfort zones, structural lens. So based on these, pero ako nag-journal with all these prompts, I'm able to think and give it inputs, and then it can synthesize for me. And that's just one question. That's just one question. I can give you some more level 1 self-diagnostic prompts. I hope you're also trying it out. Ito yung next. Act as a leadership coach. Explore with me where my behaviors or decisions may be unconsciously blocking change in my team or organization. And another one, I'm navigating change, but something in how I lead is holding progress back. What questions can you ask to help me find the root of that resistance? And so it will help you provide richer inputs if you give it the context and ask it to give you the questions that that it should ask you for more for more context. Yan. So we could also give it systemic analysis prompts. Systemic analysis prompts. Here's one prompt that could help you analyze your leadership approach. Yan. So tingnan natin. Yan. Analyze my leadership approach across these areas: communication, delegation, innovation, and emotional regulation. Which of these might contain hidden resistance to change? Ask follow-up questions if needed. So when I said ask follow-up questions if needed, so if it's not yet satisfied with the answers that I give dun sa mga first level na questions na ibibigay niya, pwede pa siyang magbigay sa akin ng mga follow-up questions until it comes up with with the answer na satisfied na ako. Yan. So I will be pasting here yung level 2 and level 3 na contextual prompts that you can use as reflective prompts, and as you learn more about yourself as leaders. Yan. So ito yung level 2, and then level 3, here you go. Ayan. Is everyone able to access naman or to copy paste from the chat? Okay. All right. Yan. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example multi-role analytical prompt or MRAP that would help you identify your ikigai. Yan, ikigai, which is ito yung sentro ng what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, and what you are going to be paid for. Yan. So let's copy and paste and let's answer it together. Medyo mahaba-haba siya kasi meron ditong 3 personas akong ilalagay: the planner, the critic, and the mediator. Yan. So yung part 1, can't seem to copy from the chat daw. Sige. Wait lang I will open Docs and then give you a link. I'll share this. Prompts na lang. Prompts. Quiet control prompts. Anyone with the link? Can view na lang. Kung view naman, kaya na siyang makopy and paste. So this will be the Google Docs. Tapos ikakopy ko yung level 1 up to level 3 na mga prompts. Yan. So nilagay ko na dito yung level 1 up to level 3 na prompts. But this one, we're going to do together yung MRAP, multi-role analytical prompt. So, to figure out your ikigai. So, this is the one. Yan. So, if you can copy and paste this sa inyong LLM tool, you can try out kung paano siya mag-aid dun sa pag-reflect ninyo about your own ikigai. So, let's try it sa akin para lang makita nyo, those na hindi makasabay or naka-mobile phone. Yan. So, you just copy and paste the prompt. Tapos, ayan na yung sagot niya. Hi, Amri. Let's explore your alignment map. This won't just surface passions or strengths, but uncover where your current path supports or blocks your deeper sense of purpose. Here are 3 starting questions. So, what part of your current work gives you the most energy, even when it's hard? This taps into what you love, the moments when you feel alive, etc. So, i-clean ko na lang yung mga sagot ko. So, lalagay ko lang dito. Mas maganda yung sagot niya mahaba para more context. But for the purposes of just demonstrating, lagay ko na lang dito yung mga may iksi. Exploring. Yan. So, yun na lang. What do others often rely on you for or praise you for that feels natural to you? So, siguro, yung mga longevity of business, being able to teach, yun na naman eh, teach, experience with different industries. Yan. So, number 3. So, ito meron pa siyang mga follow-up prompts. Based din ito dun sa memory na nakastore sa kanya. Yan. So, if you talk more frequently sa ChatGPT ninyo, meron siyang memory and you can also ask it what it knows about you. Yeah. So, if you had to teach something to help someone or solve a real-world problem, what would it be? Yan. So, maybe creativity and business, tools that bring impact and relevance, especially to the underserved, or neuroqueer because I'm neurodivergent and I'm also queer. Yeah, so these are the people na I want to serve. So after you answer, I'll begin as the critic, looking at which domains are full and which might be starved, and where contradictions or blind spots show up. So magkakaroon din ng may magkikritik, tapos meron din magmi-mediate, tapos para balanse yung kanyang sagot. So let's see kung ano yung sagot niya with as little info as I inputted here. Yan. So planner summary, your inputs map, what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, tools that create impact and relevance, especially for underserved and neuroqueer communities. Not directly stated, yung what you can be paid for, but implied through business building, strategy, and consulting engagement. Yeah. Already we see strong signals of meaning and strength with a clear heart for marginalized groups and systems that work in real life. So, meron na siyang initial na sagot, but I also called the critic, identifying drift, overdevelopment, and gaps. So, it identified the pattern tension, teacher versus builder, You love teaching and you're also naturally praised for it. But much of your paid work seems to revolve around building and running businesses, guiding others, and developing frameworks. Potential drift: are you spending more time building tools and businesses than actually teaching or facilitating learning experiences? So meron ding mga reflection prompts. You can either answer these or give it more context, or you can just read on and see kung ano yung sasabihin ni um, nung mediator. Yan. So, madaming mga sinabi si critic, may mga friction pa siya about serving versus sustaining, ano yung misalignment. Tapos si mediator, synthesize niya and nagbibigay siya ng next steps. Yan. So, let's gather what's clear. You come alive when you're teaching, creating, and exploring, ideally with meaning, blah, blah, blah. So, meron siyang mga synthesized assessments based on the answer. Actually, napaka-konti na sinagot ko, pero ang dami niya nasabi. But it's up to you to validate. Kung may mali siyang mga sinabi, syempre, you have to also correct it. But basically, this is just teaching you kung ano yung batuhan na reflection that could help you be more self-aware as a leader and discover your strengths more. Yan. So, yan. Pathways towards stronger Ikigai alignment. So, design teaching as core business experiments. Tear your impact model clearly. Yung high-touch, low-fee formats for underserved groups. Premium offerings for orgs, schools, and businesses. On point siya for me. Just because of, even just with the, with those short prompts. Yan. Na-analyze na niya. Yan. So, meron na siyang mga recommendations, but the conversation can go on and on and on kasi marami pa siyang mga tanong. Yan. So, did you also try it? Let me know if you, let me know about your experience if you'd like to share sa chat. And, but before we go, 8:59 na pala. I am going to leave you with 2 more tools. The Theory U, the Emergence Facilitator, and the Energy Leadership Index. Actually, 4 pa pala to. 3 Horizons, yung Future Thinking Companion, and 5 Whys of Purpose. So, I will copy it and paste it here. And there you go. So, meron kayong Theory U. And helps leaders listen inward, sense the future that wants to emerge, and take intentional action. So, meron ding prompt for Energy Leadership Index. And it helps you assess your leadership through the lens of energy patterns. Meron ding 3 Horizons. Yan. So, ano yung, design change intentionally across time without getting stuck in present urgency or future fantasy. And there's also this 5 Whys of Purpose. If you still don't know kung ano yung mission or life purpose ninyo, can help you evaluate your purpose. There you go. So, napakabilis ng oras. It's already 9 o'clock, but I think I'll leave you with this. Yan. AI won't replace you, but it might reshape you. It could reshape you. Yeah, it could reshape you, or maybe it will reshape you depending on how you use it. So you're not here to outpace AI. You're here because you still care about how things are done and how you lead, how you speak, how you decide. The role of AI isn't to be brilliant, it's to be consistent, to be available when your mind is busy, to reduce friction when you're holding too much, and to help you move again when overthinking takes over. Leaders who last know when to pause. This is the kind of clarity that does not shout. It leads quietly but firmly. So I hope you were able to discover new ways to use AI in a way that could help you become a better leader. And so, thank you very much. The time is short, but if you have more questions or if you'd like to speak or reach out to me and through Direct Vicky, pwede rin. I'm just at introspect.com. I also have a personal website, amraydizon.com, and my creative agency, vitalstrats.ph. Yeah, you can reach out to me anytime. But I'm not sure if we still have time for questions, but I'll turn over the mic to Direct Vicky. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Amray, Direct Amray. This is really great. It's very, very different, no? A lot of us have thought of using AI mostly on the echo part, no? And when you think about what it can do to us as leaders and how we can be more reflective leaders, this is really great. Even more reflective and enriched individuals, no? This is great. So, I mean, for the others who are still in the call, I mean, I'm sure some of you might have other things to attend to. For those who are still in the call, we could probably open ourselves up to one or two questions if there's something really burning out there. Or just raise your hand or type it in the chat. Anyone?
They're still talking to their, to their chatbots, to their LLMs.
Well, here, that's cute. Sabi nga ni Noel, thank you for making AI less threatening. Lovable na siya. Yeah, because it gives you insights on yourself. A little bit of statistics also, no? I mean, a lot of people think that the ones most affected by AI are those who are actually on the sort of the simple task. But actually, the ones that AI can, the higher your salary and the more of a thinker you are and the more of a strategy person you are, the more you can actually see the value of AI helping you out. And this is really a mindset shift that's actually currently happening. I have one question lang, and perhaps for those who are not asking any questions, maybe this is something that is in the mind of people. Many of us are leaders here. Um, the question really is, I want to encourage the similar use of AI for my team, okay? And where should I start? How should I start? I'm not as great a teacher as you are, but how should I begin to actually get more of the people around me using it in the way it should be used?
We have to start with their goals. First, you have to be aligned with the objective of the role that your teams are playing. So based on the objective of their roles, syempre, what are the results that are expected from them? So based on the results that are expected from them, do they already have a workflow from point A to point B in terms of achieving the results? So dun sa pag-map out nila ng workflow na yon, which part which parts can be automated? Like for example, you can start with ano ba yung mga echo work, mga repetitive work. So you can list that down. Tas next, what are the fog work and the ceiling work? So it can start with an audit of what could be bottlenecks dun sa process, what gets in the way of them achieving their goals. And based on these audits, you can start with the basic tools such as, for example, ChatGPT. You don't have to look at many other tools. Actually, ChatGPT pa lang, you can really, really maximize its strength and power. So you can start with one tool and then um, try and test how the tool can be a substitute to the tasks that can be automated or outsourced. So it depends on what would give value to them. Kung AI as something that delegator, taga-delegate, AI as a thinking partner ba, or AI as a strategic mirror. So, yun, it would really depend on their objective and where the bottlenecks and the difficulties are.
Yeah. So, I mean, the three questions, no, you raised earlier. Where are you overwhelmed? What are you avoiding? And what is it that you're overthinking?
Yes.
And
Yes.
beyond those questions, those are probably ways to get people to start using it and asking those questions. So those three questions you mentioned earlier, that was really, really very helpful. And we really love the echo, the fog, and ano nga paling isa?
Feeling.
Oh, yes, the ceiling. Conscious of time. Wait, hold on, we have here. After the misconception that AI will replace people in the workforce, I am now hearing that AI will make people dumb because it makes us think less. What are your thoughts on this? And what do you advise leaders on how they can handle this objection?
But AI is a tool. Think of AI as your assistant, as your super intelligent intern. Well, as a leader, you will not depend on your intern to do all your work, and you will not depend on your intern to do all the thinking and um, whatever it churns naman. Well, you won't submit it without reading, without analyzing, without asking it further questions, and without brainstorming with your intern. So you just treat it as your super intelligent intern, super intelligent assistant that could help you um, have more time for things that only humans can do, like providing yung mga empathy, yung mga compassion, and yung mga critical thinking, strategic thinking. Basta bottom line, it depends on if you think um, para sa'yo, AI can just help you make your work easier, then AI might just replace you. But if you think AI can be your strategic thinking partner and can help you with making decisions and helping you grow, ganon. Wow, ang tawag dito, hindi mangyayari yung um, making you think less if you use it para ma, mas spark pa yung iyong creative thinking, just like what we did a while ago. Because of the batuhan ng mga questions and answers, 'di ba, mas nakakapag-isip ka. Yan, thinking partner mo nga siya. But I guess if um, mga users ng AI are students, wala pang mga experience, wala pang masyadong um, context, uh, medyo delikado siya. There really is a tendency na mawala yung critical thinking skills. So, sa education, dapat meron tayong paradigm on usage of AI for the students in a way na hindi mako-compromise yung creative thinking nila. And definitely, dapat mabago din yung the way we teach kids. Yan, hindi, dapat marami ng mga case discussions, yung mga more of recitation, and less of yung mga paperwork and mga assignment na they can just easily outsource sa AI. Yun, mahaba na sagot ko. But basically, yun.
Direct Amri, mukhang ang daming may tanong. Do you have time for 3 more questions? And for the others, are you okay for us to extend a bit for 3 more questions? So, there are 3 questions here. I'll start to go through them one by one, no, in order. So, Edlin asks, I'm amazed with your customization, the systems thinker, no? Any tips on how to personalize ChatGPT? Like, should I give it my autobiography? How do I prioritize what info I put in it?
So, the reason why I placed yung systems thinker and I placed my customization the way I placed it to ChatGPT is because that's the bulk of what I do. It's more of strategy work and systems thinking work. So, Miss Edlin, depends on what your role is or what your job is. You can ask it to give you answers na aligned dun sa type of answers that you want. You can even ask it to act
The
like a
coach.
partner, actually like a coach too, or like a motivator. Sometimes I even speak to, when I feel sad, meron din mga ganun eh. I ask it to act like a psychotherapist, or minsan nagba-brain dump ako ng dreams ko, and then it asks me questions. Yung dreams as in dream panaginip. It asks me questions about yung mga recent na nangyayari sa akin, mga scenarios nangyayari sa akin, and ina-analyze na din yung dreams ko and how it relates to my everyday life. So bottom line, you just have to have a goal, ano yung importante na persona para sa iyo na tingin mo makakatulong sa iyo, and ask it to be that. Yun.
Mhm.
But of course, hindi naman laging tama yung AI. It just helps you widen your horizons and helps you think systematically and gives you different perspectives. So, yun, merong iba kasi sobrang dependent na talaga sa AI. So, it's just one tool. It's just one friend or one role. Yan. So, wag kalimutan mag-keep in touch pa rin sa mga human beings. Kasi sobrang nagalingan sa AI, nasarapan kausap yung AI, hindi na kumausap ng ibang mga tao.
Thank
Yan.
you. From Coach Ruby, what is your advice on confidential information, especially when one needs insights into certain info, which may need info about yourself or the company? Does sharing within your personal settings go to the public space?
It would depend on your subscription. If you don't have a plus subscription, then you don't, in ChatGPT lang to then you don't have the option to uncheck yung option na going training data, yung everything that you place. But again, we still don't know kung ginagamit pa rin nila. But to be safe, basics lang dun sa data privacy, never upload information na sensitive. Like for example, you're a teacher, you're grading mga students' works and biglang in-upload mo yung may mga personal information. Yun, you have to cover or you have to remove.
Anonymize.
Yeah. Or halimbawa ako, I ask it to analyze financial statements. I remove the names of the mga clients, for example, or yung mga personal na information. I just put the numbers, tas iniiba ko yung mga fields. So, yun. So when I upload na naka-Excel, I ask it, for example, act as a financial consultant and give me the top frameworks or top ang tawag dito, um, um, I forgot the term, but it's near yung framework or yung mga analytical tools that are relevant to um, yung sa situation ko ngayon. Tapos bibigyan ko ng scenario. Tapos magre-recommend siya. It really helps kung meron ka ng alam sa mga strategic frameworks. Mas mapapadali yung way na mag-answer sa'yo yung tool.
Last two questions, and then after this, sorry guys, you can message na lang si Direct Amre. So from the well, how do you see the next 5 years in AI development?
Oh, grabe. Dun sa next 5 years, there will be a lot of roles na that would entail mga skills related to AI. Like for example, instead of graphic designers, there would already be creative technologists. And dahil AI adoption might be more ano na mas marami ng gumagamit ng AI at this time, mas magkakaroon ng demand for critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity skills. So akala natin baliktad na mamamatay na yung mga may creative skills. But the more na maging wide yung paggamit ng mga tao ng AI, the more na mas magkakaroon ng demand doon sa mga creative skills creative skills and problem solving skills. So especially in yung sa generative AI, content will sound the same, images will look the same. So talagang magka-thrive yung creative and strategic people, the leaders who use AI, and pagsasamang lakas yung yung kanilang strategic thinking with the tools. So yun, we really need to start using it. We really need to adapt. There will be a lot of businesses na will have really high revenues na tech-based, AI-based as well. And we foresee na magkakaroon ng marami ding mga companies and startups that will have less and less people. Yan, yung mga less than 5 people, pero magiging large, na sila, large level corps. It's already happening abroad. So, baka sa Pilipinas, ganyan din yung magiging scenario. So, growing kasi, constantly growing yung contribution ng AI sa global economy. So, it will be unstoppable.
Yeah. It will definitely revolutionize the workforce in a way. Maybe just as an example of a more recent one, where you had people, financial advisors actually helping you now, the financial advisors or AI, and the financial advisors now became researchers and framework thinkers in order to support the quality of the AI that responds to the client. So, nag-iiba yung forma ng roles. Ano? Last question from Remo. I heard ISO is coming up with an ethics-based standard for the use of AI. How do you think this would impact our creativity and experience as users?
I'm not so sure about ISO, not really familiar with it, but in terms of the ethics-based standards and yung adoption of AI, um, the companies today are already developing AI policies and AI ethics and user guidelines. So yun yung pinaka-importante for each company, even if wala pang mga ISO na aligned dito sa ethics-based standard for the use of AI, you should already begin crafting one kahit simple lang for your company. Kasi for example, a simple case of data privacy, you can teach an employee to use AI, but if you don't have a policy of what is infringing yung copyright or against the data privacy, it can be detrimental to the organization pag merong isang employee na hindi gumamit properly ng AI. So, having that AI ethics and usage policy in your companies is a need now, even if wala pang mga ISO standards for that.
Thank you. So, just a few more comments. Yes, AI is now a springboard so we can dive deep. All right. We require deep thinkers now. People will develop depth because those that are actually a little bit on the surface can already be done by AI. So people actually tend, lalo na kung ganyan may reflection partner ka, may depth. Sige, I'm sobrang overtime. Thank you so much, Direct Amre. I mean, it's thank you for everyone who stayed. Very engaging discussions. So I think we can already close the session for this evening. I hope we can invite you again. By the way, for those who were not able to copy Direct Amre's contacts, just message me. I can send it to you. I did paste my email. Okay. Thank you so much. And this brings our session today to a close. Big thank you for Miss Amray Dizon, your time, your energy, your insights for tonight. And thank you everyone who engaged and actually helped others think through the session as well. So if you aren't already a member, don't forget to join PLC's LinkedIn and Facebook groups. Visit our website at www.leadershipcollective.ph to learn more about our growing collective and all the other sessions that we'll be having in the future. Okay, and thank you everyone again. And we look forward to seeing you in the next